Hello, my name is Keith, and this is a series of videos about healthy living. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe on my YouTube channels. They are Agency Reviews, Build Your Success, this one, Get Healthy Now, In the World, and KGH Photos and Videos. This video was created during the Mayor's Fitness Challenge, where communities competed against each other to be deemed the most fit city. Each week we included a video to provide health education during the challenge. This one is titled Running Offense on Picky Eaters, and Maggie Dickinson is the presenter.
Run more and, to be more connected. My presentation today is, it's funny, I titled it Running Offense on Picky Eaters. And then I put in that subtitle and Building a Healthy Home. Because if I could name this anything I want, it would be like how to create a great family atmosphere at the dinner table and around food. And I didn't want to put anything negative in there, but I also wanted to give it the right title that gave you the right message of what we were going to be talking about today. So I am a certified health coach. I have 3 grown sons, and I've been through, dinner table, chaos. You all know what I mean, and breakfast and lunches and all that kind of stuff. So I have a bunch of practical ideas today that I think are really, really helpful for parents. And so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in from there. Okay, so we all know that, you know what, I just have to say this first. When I had my first baby and I went to the grocery store, I was so overwhelmed. I felt like, oh my gosh, I am never going to go anywhere by myself again. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to take this seat and put it in the grocery cart and still have room for my groceries and still get out before, he starts screaming and yelling or whatever. So, having a baby is overwhelming anyway. And then, you have to get about the business of living life and doing all the things you have to do. So, being at home with kids, trying to work a full-time job, teach your kids at home, and fit in time to make dinner, make lunch, make breakfast when your kids are home all day can be stressful and overwhelming. Life is very busy, particularly, in that decade when your kids are young and not able to do a lot of things for themselves, and you really have to be there at every moment. It can really be overwhelming. Your kids get a little bit older, they can start to do a little bit more for themselves. It still is very difficult to work, keep things up to date at home, make a decent meal, get the kids where they need to go. So what I would like to do is just give you some rules for creating a positive environment around food and still getting healthy food on the table. So don't aim for perfection, and stay with me on these one at a time. Don't aim for perfection.
Maggie, you got muted.
Muted. Yeah, that's what I was just going to jump on and say too.
Maggie, you're still muted.
Got me?
You're good now.
Okay. I was in presentation mode and it wouldn't let me move my cursor to unmute. Okay, so flexibility is important. Either way, flexibility, like don't be so rigid that it's got to be this way, it's got to be that way. Roll with the punches. Shoot for as many prepared meals at home as possible. Make that your goal because that's going to be the most healthy thing. Gourmet is nice. It's nice to cook. It's nice to make good meals, but be realistic too. You know, kids don't always like chicken stir fry or shrimp stir fry. So just be realistic about what kids like, and I'll have more practical ideas about that too. Timing, planning, and creativity can go a long way towards achieving this goal of, you know, getting your kids to kind of eat healthier. And I have some ideas around that. So go-to meals for busy nights. There's plates with compartments that kids love. A lot of kids do not like for their food to be mixed up, touching. And, you know, kids get over that. It's a temporary thing. Think easy, healthy, and yummy. So I have a little sample picture there. You know, a whole grain tortilla with honey and peanut butter, apples, berries, carrots you could put on there, celery. And I wrote on here, sugar snap peas, you can have raw, broccoli, nuts, leftovers. You know, if there's chicken left over from the night before, cut them into pieces and put them in one of those sections there, and everybody can have a decent meal on their way to practice. Smoothies are great because you can get a lot of stuff in there that's healthy and they're delicious. Kids love them. It's something that you can take on the go or have at home too. Negotiate. If you do this, you can do this. Now, you don't want to be doing that all the time, but it's a good strategy mixed in with other strategies. And I'll say, like, for example, my kids hated salmon. They hated fresh spinach. And, you know, I would make salmon for my husband and I would say, just have a bite. You need to have a bite of the salmon. And then I would maybe pull out leftover chicken from another night, or, you know, give them else something healthy, and put it all on the table. This is what's for dinner. You know, the salmon is for dinner, and then there's leftover chicken if you don't like the salmon. And easy. You know, it's got to be easy for it to be doable. So simple planning saves time, money, and calories. Stopping for an ice cream cone or a burger on the way home from a game is not a bad thing. It's an awesome thing. The team wins. Everybody's going for ice cream. Awesome. Just, you know, don't make that something that you're doing all the time. That's very important. A stockpile of quick, healthy, go-to stuff in the pantry and in your mind will always help. And what do I mean by that? So it's like, you know, when I'm in the grocery store on Sunday, I'm saying, okay, what kind of like things can I buy that I could throw together on the fly, like the tortillas, the peanut butter, the honey, you know, sort of have that plan in your mind so that during the week, you'll be able to pull those things and, you know, they'll be handy. Sandwich, salad, soup, homemade pizza, rice and beans. You know, this is just some ideas of sort of quick, simple, easy things. Pasta, grilled chicken, eggs, soybeans, hummus, crackers. It's really funny. I am not a big cook, but I do like to eat kind of like fresh, healthy food. And I mean, you just have like some fresh, healthy stuff and you can make, you know, a whole bunch of different things with it. So this is what I think is really golden with kids, is to get creative. So here's some ideas for young families. Play restaurant. Kids love to play restaurant. So teach your kids, okay, you know, when you have a restaurant, you need to have, you know, a vegetable, you know, a whole grain and a protein, and let them decide what that can be that they're going to serve. They can make menus, they can wear black and white, they can get a little pad to take your order. Okay, have a one dinner. Have leftovers in the fridge. Have one slice of pizza. Have one slice of apple. Have one big log of cucumber. Have one meatball. So, when you do stuff like that, kind of like it sort of gets something with kids. It gets them interested. That's the word. It gets them interested that it's not just sit down and eat dinner. It's making it fun and creative for them. So you could have a color dinner, do red, pasta with sauce, apples, radishes, beets, chicken with cherries on top, cranberries, red kale, red potatoes. What a cool lesson that is for kids. Like most kids don't know that there is red potatoes or red kale. You could do orange and you could do orange beets. A lot of people don't know that there's orange beets. So it's just some things to sort of switch things up, spark their interest, and make it something other than sit down and eat your dinner. A great idea is to take your kids to a farm stand. Let them pick out a fruit or a vegetable, and then, come home and look up on the internet how to cook it, make it, eat it. Star fruit, dragon fruit, do you eat the skin? How do you cut it? Compare, all the kids pick out a fruit or a vegetable, and then you get to, slice and dice and see which one is the best. Grow food. Grow food is, it's such a great idea for kids. I mean, it gets them outside, it gets them moving. Again, it gets them out of the box, interested, and more creative. So, there's simple things that you can grow. I have mint growing in my backyard now. It grows like a weed. Tomatoes are fairly easy to grow, especially if you do like small tomatoes. I mean, those, kids can go right out into the garden, just pick them off the vine and pop them in their mouth. Basil is a great thing to grow. It grows really well around here, and you can use that on your pizza or in your pasta or something like that. Carrots are really fun to grow. I've never had a lot of success growing a delicious carrot, but it's really fun to see how they grow. You put the seed in, the green plume comes out of the ground and the carrot's in the ground, and you can see it kind of bulging, and they are so much fun to pick. Okay, so for older kids, for teens and tweens, those apron things, meal in a box, there's a million of them. I can't think of any other name right now, of course, but we did those for a summer, kind of like just to splurge and try it. And it's really fun following a recipe, trying things that you never tried before. Of course, if you're on a budget, it's out of the question because they are more expensive than going to the store and buying a regular meal. But if you can splurge, it's a fun way to do it. A family cooking competition. I absolutely love this. We did a lot of it, and we always, had some kind of a prize, and everybody had a night when it was their turn to cook, and they pretty much did it all by themselves. So for me, it was awesome because it was like 3 or 4 nights that I didn't have to cook. I didn't have to do it, and I really liked that. It brought like variety to the table because I used to feel like, I would go into the grocery store and I would, buy the same things, buy everything to cook the same meal. And, it got boring for me, truthfully. And so doing a family cooking competition was fun. It was fun to have the kids say, oh, I need, saffron or whatever to make, whatever I'm making. I do think there was a couple of nights when I had to eat plain hot dogs and spaghetti with nothing on it. So it wasn't all joyous, but it overall is, a great memory, and it was a great strategy. Let kids shop and cook. It's a great idea. You know, let them come with you if they're old enough to shop and cook, to go to the store themselves and do it. Let them do it. It's a great opportunity and experience for them to start, doing things on their own and learning how to, make their own healthy meals. Okay, and then some ideas for any age. Build your own meal. So I am a huge advocate of something like this because I love to do a salad. I used to do this with salad a lot when my kids were little, and it got them to eat salad. So they basically had their bed of healthy greens. That was part of the deal. They had to eat, and nobody ever balked. And then, you have like a fun display like this on the table of things that they can add on top. And of course, they're not all healthy, but that's okay. You can do a Mexican variation like this is right here. You could just do bowls of broccoli and tomato and onions and cheese and beans, avocado, whatever your family likes, and then like throw some fun things in there. What's fun? I wouldn't necessarily say like craisins or raisins are fun. I love that on salad, but Tostito chips or funny little Mickey Mouse pasta or something like that. That they can throw on there that'll make it more exciting for them. Okay, so you could do this, build your own meal with omelets, tacos, salad, burritos, burgers. I mean, you could go on and on. There's so many different things you could do with sandwiches. And don't, think outside the box yourself. You can put radishes on a sandwich. You can put cucumber and alfalfa on a sandwich, something like that. Okay, so picky eaters. I feel pretty strongly about picky eaters. I know that there are some kids who are, they have, an actual disability where they have trouble eating certain textures of food and that kind of thing. It's a very small percentage of kids that have something like that. And most of the rest can be trained to, to learn to eat healthier. So the first thing is, don't stress. Don't make a big issue out of eating. Don't make it a fight. Prepare food that is relatively healthy, but that kids will eat. Give them options. I mentioned the stir fry earlier. So if you're making a chicken stir fry for dinner, and you have little kids and you know that they're picky, just keep the ingredients separate. Say we're having a stir fry for dinner tonight. And so I can either mix it all together in the pot, or I can keep yours separate on the side before it's cooked if you want. I can just give you some raw broccoli, some raw carrots, some cooked chicken, and you can eat it that way. Which would you like? I just think that works great for kids, and you can do that with most meals. If you're making lasagna, I can just give you noodles, meat, sauce, and cheese on the side if you don't want to eat lasagna or something like that. I think most kids like lasagna, but continue to offer healthy food. That is so important. Don't say, oh yeah, just go have some Cheerios if you don't want to eat this, and continually let kids do that. Kids are not going to starve. If you say, this is what's for dinner, this is what you're eating, I do think that will work. And of course, there has to be some option of food in there that kids are going to like. There's got to be, some pasta that they'll eat or something like that. So be sensitive to them and what they like, and think about that and plan about that, but continue to offer more and healthy food. I mentioned the 1 bite rule already. And most importantly is model. Kids are, the most important thing you will ever do is what you do, not what you say. Kids are going to watch you and learn from you, and they will follow your lead in life in all things, not just food. And so one other thing I wanted to mention is making family time fun. I think that that's really, really huge. And I have some ideas for how you can go ahead and do that. So it's a funny thing because I used to say to my kids, what was the high point of your day? Getting out of school. And I would say, what was the low point of your day? It was going to school. So that didn't work so much for me. I think boys are a little bit less talkative in that realm. So that didn't exactly work for me. But we have some things that have worked great for us over the years. So getting my kid to talk and also enjoying the meal together. First of all, unplug. No electronics at the table for anybody. Of course, there's exceptions. Of course, one of the kids isn't there and the kid calls. Of course, you're going to take the phone call. Grandma or grandpa calls and, you don't want to miss them. There's always exceptions to that rule. There's one important phone call from work that you have to get. Totally understandable. But generally speaking, the rule is no phones at the table. That's important because that's your time as a family. I mentioned high point, low point. That works for a lot of people, and it might work really well with older kids, maybe with teens and later teens. There could be kind of like a fun family thing to do during dinner is a question of the day. What would you do if? Or if you could only have one book on a deserted island, what book would it be? Or something like that. A riddle. You could bring a riddle to the table every night. Every night it's one person's job to find a riddle and to ask the rest of the family if they can figure it out. And fun facts is a thing that we started doing years ago, and it has been so awesome. We have all really, really enjoyed it. And so what happened in my family over the years is, there were 4 males at the table who were talking alternately about, baseball, football, hockey, soccer, basketball, and I wasn't interested. And I really found it like annoying sometimes. So I started saying, if you don't bring a fact to the dinner table, you don't get any food. No fact, no food. And so they had to bring a fact to the table. And it's been so much fun. We've learned so many like random things over the years. That's been so interesting. And it could be as simple as red and blue make purple, or it might be, something about the cosmic atmosphere or something like that. Look up facts about the universe. They'll blow your mind. Just simple little facts. So that is about all that I have. And I think, the most important point is just, life is stressful. Try not to stress if you can. Try to just buy healthy food, have it available, understand where kids are coming from, but then have that, that firm guiding hand that's going to help them make good decisions.